Welcome to Catherine's tutorial. In this video, we'll learn about phenylketonuria, a genetic disorder. Phenylketonuria. In short form, it is known as PKU. It is mentioned as PKU. So, what is this phenylketonuria? We know there are two types of amino acids in our body. One is essential and another one is non-essential group of amino acids. The essential amino acids are very much needed to maintain our homeostatic mechanism or to regulate our body function, our physiological function, and those essential amino acids are not synthesized in our body. We have to obtain only through the food sources. There are one more group of amino acids known as non-essential amino acid, which is not required to regulate our physiological mechanism, but even though these are synthesized inside the human body, that is not needed actually. So there are essential group of amino acid which help in regulating the physiological functions of an organism, and especially in case of human being. So phenylketonuria is a genetic disorder. It is due to an autosomal recessive gene. It is due to autosomal recessive gene. What is the meaning of autosomal recessive gene? We have 23 pairs of chromosomes. So among these 23 pairs of chromosomes, the first 22 pairs of chromosomes are known as autosomes. And the 23rd pair is the sex chromosome. It determines the sex, whether it is XX or XY. So this is due to an autosomal chromosome, and when it is under recessive condition, this disease will be expressed. It represents the gene that is responsible for this disease. If it is capital R, it shows its dominant form. If it is small r, it shows its recessive form. If it is small r, it is known as autosomal recessive form. So when these recessive genes are combined together, they express the disease and the individual will be affected by phenylketonuria. And one more important thing, when the individual has capital R and small r, they are known as heterozygous. Heterozygous to the disease, they are known as carriers also. And these carriers have an advantage, resistant to ochratoxin A, that is released by most of the fungi, and especially if you take example, we can write aspergillus. So these ochratoxin A will be a possible carcinogenic agent in case of human being. So they will cause cancer in case of human being when they are exposed to this ochratoxin A. But the individual who are heterozygous to this disease condition, they are developing the resistance against this particular toxin. So they confer an advantage against this ochratoxin if they are heterozygous in nature. Now we'll move on to the next one. The disease was identified in the year 1934 by Ivor Asberg. He identified the disease phenylketonuria. So as we all know, it is an autosomal recessive disorder. When it is in recessive condition, this disease will be expressed. And this disease is due to the deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. So it is due to the deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. In short, it is represented as PAH. So it is also known as PAH. If the person is deficient of this phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, they will be affected by phenylketonuria disease. Then what is the function of this phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme? The phenylalanine hydroxylase producing gene is present in chromosome number 12. Chromosome number 12. So the gene which is responsible for producing phenylalanine hydroxylase will be present in any of these chromosomes, and this gene which is responsible for phenylalanine hydroxylase production is deficient. If the gene which is responsible for the production of this particular enzyme is deficient to produce, or it is absent to produce, then eventually this phenylketonuria disease occurs. This disease is known as inborn error of metabolism. An inborn error of metabolism of an amino acid known as phenylalanine. Phenylalanine, it is an amino acid. This amino acid is an essential amino acid which we have to obtain only through the food sources. This phenylalanine should be converted into tyrosine. Conversion will be done with the help of an enzyme known as phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme. This enzyme helps in conversion of phenylalanine into tyrosine inside our body. If this enzyme is deficient, it is not going to convert this phenylalanine into tyrosine, resulting in accumulation of phenylalanine inside our body. Now the excess phenylalanine will turn into phenyl pyruvic acid. It is transformed into the accumulated phenylalanine is transformed to phenyl pyruvic acid. This phenyl pyruvic acid will cause damage to the brain. The conversion of phenylalanine into tyrosine is very essential because this tyrosine is converted into the neurotransmitters. What are the neurotransmitters? It is serotonin, dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine. So this tyrosine will be converted into this group of neurotransmitters, and these neurotransmitters are very essential to transfer the signal through the neurons. So if this tyrosine is not present in our body and if it is not going to be converted, and eventually it affects this development of or the production of these group of neurotransmitters, which is going to cause a problem to the brain of an individual who has this phenylketonuria disorder. The normal amount of phenylalanine in our blood is about 2 mg per deciliter. But if the individual who are affected by this phenylketonuria disease, they will have nearly 400 mg per deciliter. This phenylketonuria disease will exhibit in two forms. One is known as classic phenylketonuria, that is classic PKU. Another one is known as variant PKU, that is phenylketonuria. This classic phenylketonuria is the severe form of phenylketonuria, and variant is the milder form of urea. So it is a milder form and this is a severe form of phenylketonuria. So phenylalanine is increased inside our body. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. What is the meaning of blood-brain barrier? Okay, so we have an endothelial lining inside our blood vessel. Endothelial lining inside our blood vessel. These endothelial linings are semi-permeable. They allow only the selectable substances to enter the blood vessel to enter inside the brain. So they allow only the particular substances to cross through them, and because of this phenylketonuria, and this endothelial cells becomes permeable because the phenylalanine amount is increased inside our bloodstream. So this phenylalanine will try to enter inside the endothelial cell, and this endothelial cell allows them to enter inside the brain, and when they enter inside the brain, they affect the intellectual development of an organism, that is especially human beings. It affects the brain development, and it also results in mental retardation. If they enter inside the brain in an increased level, they will cause the problem to the human, including their intellectual development and brain development, and it results in mental retardation. If the pregnant mother has this disorder, phenylketonuria, she has to go for regular screening of phenylalanine levels in her bloodstream, and if not, it is going to cause problem to the developing fetus, resulting in miscarriage, and it also affects the organ formation. It can be inherited from the parent if both the parents are carriers. For example, capital R represents the dominant form of the gene and small r represents the recessive one. If the parents have become the carriers, this parent population will draw Punnett square to find out the offsprings of this parent, that is heterozygous type. Capital R, capital R, capital R, small r, again capital R, small r, small r, small r. This is the dominant form, so they will not exhibit this type of symptoms, and here this these two individuals are heterozygous with the condition, they are carrier of the disease, and one offspring will be having the phenylketonuria disorder. So if the parents are the carriers, so receive one gene from the father and one gene from affected gene, especially affected gene from the father and one gene from the mother. If they receive both, and they will be expressing the disorder in the recessive form. Phenylalanine is not going to convert it into tyrosine. If tyrosine is not going to take part or converting these neurotransmitters, eventually it will affect the brain development. If the level of phenylalanine is increased inside the brain, it will damage the myelin sheath of the nerve cells, and eventually it cause problem in the intellectual development or mental retardation, and also brain developmental problems in the individual who has PKU. By the next video, we'll learn about the next topic in genetics. Thank you.